All right, and live from the Kenyatta University Communication Center, you are just in time for the Thursday edition of the KUTV Prime Time News on the second day of October, the year 2025, a day that in the international calendar is noted as the International Non-Violence Day. Yes. If you had any violence today, it's not the day. And of course, it is within the marking of the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. That is just by the way, but we get into the matters concerning matters happening in the country and also beyond our borders. But first, let's get a proper introduction of tonight's bulletin. My name is Emmanuel Kutosi, and joining me in the sign language interpretation is Sami Okelo. Of course, you can interact with us through our social media handles at KUTV_Kenya on the X platform and KUTV Kenya on Facebook. Now, veteran politician and former Rongo Member of Parliament Dalmas Otieno has been laid to rest today in his ancestral land in Kageso Village, Migori County. The late Rongo MP has been eulogized as a selfless statesman who championed for the welfare of Kenyans and key reforms in the country. Dalmas Otieno, who served as a Rongo MP and held various ministerial positions under the Daniel Arap Moi and Mwai Kibaki administrations, died on the 7th of September this year at his current home after a brief illness. Moving on, during the opening of the 2025 Magical Kenya Travel Expo at Uhuru Grounds, Nairobi, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki spoke about the development of tourism, highlighting tourism as an important economic tool in the country and its contribution to facilitating access to employment nationwide. Kindiki further emphasized government's efforts to strengthen the sector, while calling for collaboration to make tourism a bridge between Kenya, Africa, and the worldwide as a sector that empowers people.
Tourism is a critical anchor of Kenya's economy and a pillar of the bottom-up economic transformation. The unique multiplier effect of tourism cannot be overstated. Revenue from tourism increased by 20% to 452 billion Kenya shillings, an equivalent of 3.5 billion US dollars. The tourism sector is also expected to support 1.7 million jobs, which is over 8% of the total national employment. This is why, within our national agenda, we have positioned tourism as a fundamental business enabler and a platform that stimulates investments while giving foreign exchange and uplifting countless ancillary industries.
And on to the political boiling point in the Mount Kenya East region as political tensions are rising in Mbeere North, Embu County, as Chama cha Kazi candidate Duncan Mbui urges residents to reject pressure to back so-called preferred candidate. Now, Mbui, who is the Evurore Ward member of County Assembly, says voters must instead choose leaders based on merit, development vision, and accountability as the by-election race gathers momentum.
Speaking at Ishara Market, the serving MCA for Ivurore Ward, Duncan Mbui, urged voters to choose leaders based on merit and vision, rejecting pressure to endorse a single preferred candidate in the Mbeere North by-election driven by party politics and external influence. According to Mbui, imposing a preferred candidate insults voters' democratic rights, urging residents to ignore external pressure and instead back aspirants with clear development plans to transform Mbeere North through genuine leadership.
Kuna watu wamejivita hapo ndani, wanajivita kwa chama. Unakuja kustukia unaambiwa na mtu wa serikali tuchague serikali. Lakini kitu ndapo hakuambii ni kwamba anakuambia uchague serikali sababu kuna mtu amejificha hapo. Mtu amejificha hapo kwa serikali ni kazi ni ya mtu fulani.
Additionally, Mbui emphasized that leadership is about action, not slogans. He emphasized Mbeere North voters to demand clear manifestos from all candidates. According to him, only accountable leaders can deliver jobs, better roads, and improved services for the people, and not party politics.
Situtoe maneno ya chama sasa tuangalie viongozi kulingana na vitendo vyake. Ama namna gani? Tuangalie kiongozi kulingana na vitendo vyake. Tusiambiwe story mingi, tusiwatomie story nyingi. Chama cha kazi nataka tubadilishe nia. Nia ni kwamba mimi kama Mbui nikisimama niseme nimetenda hii, nitatenda hii. Ule mwingine asimame nimetenda hii, nitatenda hii.
Mbui rejected claims that his party is backed by government, dismissing links to former cabinet secretary Moses Kuria. He clarified he had not talked with government officials.
Ni nani amejificha kwa hiyo chama ya serikali? Wewe, watu wa Mbeere ni werevu. Watachagua kiongozi, watachagua vyama. Ndio kweli? Wangapi wanasema tutachagua viongozi sio chama? Hii watu wanasema ati Moses Kuria ako kwa serikali. Ile chama ile kazi alikuwa amepewa na president siko na chagua wetu hapo. Kwani ako kwa serikali kama amevutwa?
The candidate is now calling such propaganda misleading and affirming his stand with the one-term opposition, positioning himself as a voice for the honest leadership and independent decision-making, focusing to bring change and development to Mbeere people. Beryl Otieno reporting for KUTV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Beryl Otieno. Wonderful to hear your voice. Now, learning at Adanya Primary School in Teso North was paralyzed for a better part of today as parents took to the streets to protest over ill treatment, illegal levels, mismanagement, and the use of black magic by the school head principal. Now, parents vowed to stay put and conduct regular demonstrations calling for the transfer of the school head, whom they blame for the school's poor performance in recent days, despite the school having topped the previous KCPE examinations. They are now calling on the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, and the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, to probe their accounts, cautioning the area chief from politicizing the matter.
Ni siku ambayo tumepanga sisi kama watu wa Adanya na wazazi. Punda imechoka. Tumebeba mzigo na punda imefika wakati amefanya namna gani? Tumepitia hali ngumu sana tangu madamu mmoja anaitwa Rosemary Ikadi Sokata ingia katika shule hii. Na sisi kama wazazi tumesema sasa imefika wakati atupatie nafasi. Mambo ambayo amefanya hapa hayapendezi watoto wetu katika shule hii. Hayapendezi wazazi katika shule hii. Hayapendezi wanasiasa katika eneo hii. Hayapendezi hata walimu wengine hapo ndani. Sisi ambao tumejitokeza leo hii tunataka kuomba idara inayosimamia mambo ya masomo katika eneo hili. Kwamba Madam Rosemary Ikadi must anataka kudispose mali ya shule kwa njia ambayo sasa tutaki. Kumbe alitupitia njia ya kando. Hiyo ni moja. Jambo la pili, yeye ana uhusiano na watu wazuri ambao tunajua ni stakeholders wa shule.
Interesting matters right there in Teso North. Won't say so much about that. Now, Agriculture and Livestock Development Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has defended the 4% sugar development levy before the Senate Committee on Legislation. Kagwe said the levy implemented in July strikes the right balance to fund cane development, research, and factory rehabilitation. While some stakeholders want a lower rate, others support retaining the maximum allowed under the law. The Senate Committee will now review the ministry's position before issuing a decision on the matter.
Was given only 10%, and furtherance an exercise of the functions of farmer organizations were also to be supported by a 5% cut from the sugar levy. So, Mr. Chairman, to operationalize that sugar development levy, the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development prepared the order that you referred to yourself. And the Sugar Development Levy Order 2025 was subjected to public participation from the 13th to the 18th of January.
15 minutes past the top of the hour, and we take our first break right here on the Thursday edition of the KUTV Primetime News. And among the reports that I can't but wonder about and maybe get your engagement on the social media handles is concerning Adanya Primary School. Okay, so the ESCC to look on matters concerning corruption, the DCEI on matters concerning mismanagement. But who is going to assess the black magic situation? Interesting. In a moment, we'll be back with more.
A new era, a new people. This is the Law Matters Show. A program that brings you legal sensitization on your television.
My statement is written and just the quote to the prosecution.
Saying that this loss is a setback for Raila Odinga.
What policy recommendations were fronted by the candidate?
With diversity, we demystify important legal issues locally, regionally, and internationally.
What Tanzanians.
Join me, Elvin Onsongo, as I bring you more insights on law matters.
We are looking at social issues. What is the problem? Is it the economy? Is it...
Law Matters Show, creating awareness, advocacy, and enhancing lives.
Miti miti, panda panda. Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome. Welcome back. Now, residents of Kaloleni sub-county in Kilifi County are stuck in a looming public health crisis as prolonged drought has wiped out their water sources. Families in Birini, Chalani and neighboring locations now depend on contaminated water pools, with cases of illness already being reported.
At Kaloleni sub-county in Kilifi, the residents of Birini in the Makululu area rely on the Kwanzai water pan, which was once a vital source of clean water. However, after several months without rainfall, the water pan completely dried up, forcing these residents to dig shallow pools in its cracked bed to collect unsafe, murky water for their daily needs. At Kwanzai water pan in Birini, Kaloleni, the residents say that they are struggling. The men, women and children trudge through mud to scoop discolored water from shallow pool dug into the dry pan.
Jua likizidi hapa kuna kauka.
Josephat Kenga says they have no clean water and are forced to drink the muddy water as it is. He adds that the reservoir dried up 3 months ago, leaving families to either risk disease or buy water from boozers at 30 shillings a jerrycan.
Hivi sasa mnavyoona kwamba kumekauka, maji kupatikana ni shida, ni kwamba tunahitaji ufadhili ili upate kuchimbwa na halafu watu wa maeneo haya wapate maji. Kwa hivyo kama kutakuwa na wahisani ambao watakuwa wanajali hii sehemu, basi watusaidie na hali hii ya ufadhili ili tuwe na maji ya kutosha.
Saumu Badi highlighted that their children are falling sick with diarrhea and skin infections because of the unsafe water. She added that water pans in Chalani, Kayafungo, Mwanamwinga and Mariakani have dried up. Piped water has been unavailable for months and the crisis is hurting education.
Tunataka kama mtasaidia mchimbe mtara. Na watoto sahi wameshikana sana na magonjwa. Hata kuna huyu tayari huyu mtoto. Haya maji ndo anakunywa. Maana sina ule uwezo wa kununua maji.
Charles Chisaga said students are reluctant to join the institution because of the ongoing water shortage. He urged that a borehole is urgently needed to provide a reliable supply and support learning programs. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
And not far off from the coastal region, Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi has reaffirmed the government's commitment to embolden irrigation as a cornerstone of food security and economic growth. Speaking at the Galana Kulalu Food Security Project, Mbadi said irrigation will boost local food production, cut costly imports, stabilize the shilling, and create jobs, while officials praised the public-private partnership model driving the projects.
Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi has reaffirmed the government's focus on irrigation as a driver of food security and economic transformation. Speaking during an inspection tour of the Galana Kulalu Food Security Project, Mbadi said irrigation-led farming will not only feed the nation but also protect the Kenya shilling from inflationary effects of food imports.
At the moment, Kenya is still importing well over 700 metric tons, 700,000 metric tons of rice. We want to reduce that, either to eliminate it or reduce it to bare minimum. At most 10 to 20% of our rice should be imported. We should be able to produce locally between 70 and 80% of our usage per year. And that we can do.
He lauded Galana Kulalu as a game changer, noting that the first 1,500 acres of maize are ready for harvest, while another 1,700 acres will be under production by month's end.
It is important to understand that one of the reasons, one of the key achievements of any government is to ensure food security. Without food security, we'll be forced to import food from outside. When you are importing food, first, you are looking for money to buy that food. It affects your budget overall, and you have to borrow money because you have to feed your people. But more importantly, when you are bringing food from outside into the country, the food will have to be bought in foreign currency.
The CS revealed that the irrigation push goes beyond Galana, with 50,000 acres of rice and 50,000 acres of sugarcane planned under the Bureau irrigation scheme, supported by a government allocation of 6.8 billion shillings.
By putting just another 200 acres or acreage into production, that is in the full year, because there are 2 seasons in a year. Each season, the estimated production per acre is 35 bags, which is 70 bags per acre per year. If you multiply that by 200,000, then you have 14 million bags.
Irrigation Principal Secretary Fantas Kimotho echoed similar sentiments, stressing that 10,000 acres at Galana alone can generate 2.8 billion shillings annually and create over 500 jobs. Rose Kaguku, KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, the Narok County government is stepping up efforts to restore peace in the troubled Angata-Barikoi land, where violent clashes have erupted between communities from Narok and Migori counties, with 5 people killed and many injured in the recent violence. Narok Governor Patrick Ole Ntutu vows that no stone will be left unturned to bring lasting calm to the area.
Tensions have long simmered over farming and grazing land, straddling the borders of Narok and Migori counties. The recent violence in Angata-Barikoi has left 5 people dead, many injured, and families forced from their homes, heightening insecurity across the region. While visiting the area, Narok Governor Patrick Ntutu assured the community that a permanent solution is underway. Ntutu emphasized that the county government is working hand in hand with local representatives and security forces to end the violence.
Hii shamba hapa imekuwa kama ile jifu. Mnajua jifu ni nini? Hiyo kama haijafinywa ile usaa itoke, haiwezi kuwa mzuri. Leo tunataka kufinya hiyo itoke, alafu watu wakae na amani. Nataka tu kuhakikishia watu ya Angata-Barikoi, mimi kama gavana wenu, afadhali tusifanye kazi nyingine yoyote ile, lakini tuhakikisha ya kwamba watu wanakaa na amani.
Governor Ntutu also urged the residents to embrace a spirit of brotherhood and unity, appealing both communities to work together and put aside their differences.
Sitaki kusikia kazi ati watu wanapigana kwa sijui nani mkubwa, kwani nani mkubwa kwa dunia? Hii dunia sisi wote tunaangalia ijua ya Mungu. Sasa naomba nyinyi, na leo tukimaliza hii mambo ya Angata hakuna pale mzuri kama Angata. Lakini kwa sababu ya hiyo siasa yenu ndogo, tujui nani mkubwa nani mdogo, hiyo ukubwa yenu tutakata iwe flat yote, kila mtu akue sawa.
Emurua Dikir MP Johanna Ngeno, who accompanied him, promised that residents evicted from their land would receive fair compensation to help them rebuild their lives.
Tumesikia shamba imegawanywa mara mbili, wale ambao walikuwa wanafaa kulipwa wamelipwa, na sasa hii imebaki ni ya kupea wale pia ambao walikuwa wamepoteza mashamba yao hapa.
With renewed commitment from county leaders and the promise of compensation for victims, residents of Angata-Barikoi are holding on to hope that peace will soon prevail. Rose Kaguku, KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, the president's aide, Farouk Kibet, has condemned corporal punishment in schools, following an incident where a student allegedly lost their life after being punished by a teacher. Speaking during an educational function in Tarbo, Farouk urged teachers to adopt alternative correction methods and called on authorities to take stern action. He also appealed to the Ministry of Education and well-wishers to invest in school infrastructure, stressing that conducive learning environments are vital to student success. Now, the National and Gender Equality Commission is urging county governments to establish and operationalize safe houses for survivors of gender-based violence. Speaking in Muranga, National Vice Chairperson Thomas Koyer emphasized the urgent need to secure shelters that provide medical care, counseling, and legal aid. He warned that the absence of such facilities undermines the efforts to combat GBV. Muranga County Executive Manoa Gashusha highlighted ongoing initiatives and encouraged survivors to report cases of authorities for timely support.
So as a county government, we recently passed what we call the children policy, and one of the many issues which was touched by that policy is the issues touching to do with children. And we also had issues to do with Sexual Offences Act. We also made our own children policy to address the issues of children molesting, among other vices in the community.
That every citizen of this country has a right to report to the institutions that are mandated by our constitution to listen and to protect the rights of the children, protect the rights of women, and also to use those institutions to let us know also as a constitutional commission where action has not been taken, because we are mandated. If they come to us and they file complaint with us, we are mandated to work with the National Police.
Now, with that report highlighting the sentiments of the Vice Chairperson of the National Gender and Equality Commission, that is Ngeku, take our second break right here on the Thursday edition of the KUTV Primetime News. Don't go to
ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka hakawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake, ukatii na kufanya mwenye bidii kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ngari. Mimi ni mwanamke. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Emmanuel. Tunachimba hadi mizizi kukuletea yanayojiri.
So mimi naomba tu serikali yetu ya Mungu ibarikiwe na Mungu iweze kuteremsha bei ya mafuta
yanayokukumba. Tuna maizi, tunakutetea sisiri. Kwa kweli ni speciali tukikupambia makala ya mwanamke mwake. Utasema hupendi mizizi ya habari. Nami Caroline.
Oh, we are swiftly into the sporting arena where President William Ruto has honored Kenyan athletes for their success in the 2025 World Athletics Championships held in Tokyo, Japan. Kenya finished second in the global standings with a total of 11 medals, 7 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals behind the United States, which won a total of 26 medals.
Speaking at State House Nairobi during the awarding ceremony for Team Kenya for their exemplary performance at the just concluded World Athletics Championship in Tokyo, Japan, President William Ruto commended the Kenyan team for flying Kenyan flag high in the global arena, winning Kenya pride and success to stake their dominance at athletics powerhouse.
It is clear that Kenya is not made for the average. We are not fashioned. Our DNA as a nation is not for the usual and the ordinary and the average. Our DNA as a nation is for excellence.
According to Ruto, a total of 27 million Kenyan shillings has been disbursed with the aim of awarding the athletes 3 million for each gold medal winner, 2 million for each silver medal winner, and 1 million for bronze medal winner. Other prizes include affordable houses for 7 gold medal winners and a total of 500 job opportunities for the sportsmen and women into the discipline forces.
In recognition of your heroic efforts, a total of Kenya shillings 27 million has already been disbursed. I have discussed with our discipline forces or services, discipline services, both our KDF and our National Police Service, and we have agreed that a total of 500 sportsmen will be hired into our discipline services.
Some of the greatest winners of the day were 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters world champion Beatrice Chebet. Chebet garnered a total of 6 million shillings, while her fellow Faith Kipyegon garnered a total of 5 million Kenyan shillings for winning gold and silver medals in the 1,500 meters and 5,000 meters consecutively.
Raynon Kipkorir, bronze medal in the 1500. Dorcas Ewoy, silver 1500.
With the competition expected to be held again next year in Beijing, Kenya is proud of its athletics contest with more excellent competitions expected. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
Thank you, Rajab, for that report. And bravo, Team Kenya. Neither UEFA Champions League match day 2 delivered a high drama and major results yesterday. Paris Saint-Germain stunning Barcelona at home, securing a vital 2-1 victory thanks to the late winner from Gonzalo Ramos. Meanwhile, Manchester City's perfect start was halted in a 3-2 draw with Monaco as Eric Dier scored a 90th minute penalty to level the match despite an Erling Haaland brace. In another action-packed match, Newcastle United delivered an emphatic 4-0 win away at Union Saint-Gilloise, while Borussia Dortmund cruised past Athletic Club 4-1. Arsenal maintained their winning run with a 2-0 victory over Olympiacos, and the match between Villarreal and Juventus ended in a late 2-2 stalemate as Napoli edged out Sporting CP 2-1. "36 minutes past the top of the hour, and I have to give a big bravo to the winning team behind the decks, ensuring this broadcast is coming to you in a way that is speak and span. Bravo, guys, for making this happen. And of course, a big bravo to the whole news team involved in the production of this broadcast, led by my producer, Yvonne Kemuma Monari, the only lady who can make black and white look better than color. From me, Emmanuel Kutosi, and on the sign language interpretation, Sami Okelo. It's good night. Remember, tomorrow is International Friends Day. Good night.